Sergeant Pedro Rodriguez Mateo was beaten to death by an inmate at Ponce Maximum Security Facility in Puerto Rico. Now, the news came out on August 1st, 2019. The incident occurred on July 31st, and Sergeant Mateo has passed and did not survive the beating. Many of you already know about this, and you've seen this on some of the correctional sites, but I don't know if everybody knows what the union in Puerto Rico is doing. They are blaming the death of this sergeant on the Secretary of Corrections, the Puerto Rican Secretary of Corrections, for loosening up on rules and regulations, or lightening up. Hi, I'm Gary York, True Prison Stories. Please subscribe if you like this video. The inmate was seen by Sergeant Rodriguez receiving something from a visitor. So he removed the inmate to a room to search him. The inmate obtained his baton, from what I'm reading in reports, and beat him with it, where he died later in the hospital. Now, this is a maximum security prison, but this particular inmate is serving 71 years for triple murder, and he was under the instructions and policies not to come out of his cell unless restrained. However, the Secretary of Corrections said Puerto Rican Secretary of Corrections said all inmates going to visitation have the same rights and they will not be restrained. Now, this is what the union is saying, and I want to read it off to you because I don't want to misquote it. The ACU is enraged by Sergeant Rodriguez Mateo's death. Today, one of our colleagues is fighting for his life, and now we know he's passed, simply because corrections allowed maximum security inmates to be without restraints during visitation. Gonzalez was quoted as saying on the day of the attack, we warned the secretary that this was a serious mistake and it would put our officers' lives in danger. Gonzalez from the union also stated that they also have a short staffing problem in all the island's prisons, which also contributed to the incident. But the main contributor, they say, is the Secretary of the Puerto Rican Corrections letting inmates go in unrestrained that should be restrained. They added that we express our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Sergeant Rodriguez Mateo and his wife, and there is a Fallen Heroes Fund for him. I would just like to say that we here on the mainland also send our prayers and condolences to Sergeant Pedro Rodriguez Mateo's wife and family. We're very sorry for this loss. I'm very sorry for a decision that was made that proved to be not a good decision. Now, my question to the Secretary of the Puerto Rican Department of Corrections is, what led you to make this decision? Was this all on your own, or did you have a panel that you sat down with and made the decision with this panel? Or did you make the decision based on peer pressure from an outside organization? Did you make this decision based on inmates' families calling in and complaining? Did you think about every possible thing that could happen to your officers on the front line, the officers that have to deal with these inmates day in and day out, and they know which ones are dangerous. They know which ones should be restrained. There was a reason this inmate, prior to this decision, was to be not out of his cell unless he was restrained. There's a reason for that. So my question is, did you talk to security And I'm talking about anybody in security, frontline security, sergeants, lieutenants, captains, and above. Did you talk to them about this? It says here in the article from the union that you were advised that this was a bad move, advised that this was a dangerous move on the same day of the attack. So there's a lot of questions I would ask you if I was investigating this, because I feel there should be an investigation. I don't know how you operate there on the island, but if it were on the mainland, I would say we must have an investigation as to why this decision was made, because I would want to know, was it your decision and yours only? If not, who else made the decision with you? Were you influenced from anyone on the outside? That's what I would want to know also. I hope not. It's a bad decision no matter which way you go, but I sure hope we don't add into this situation that you were influenced by outsiders in any way whatsoever. And here's something that might upset some people that are in higher positions, but I would also have this investigation go as far as checking your phone records and your bank accounts and so forth. Just my suspicious background. I was a correctional officer and a probation officer, but then I was also a prison inspector for 12 years. And it's funny what you'll find, and it'd be great just to clear you of any outside influence. So that's why I brought that up. So fire away now and let me know what you think, everyone. It's a sad situation. Let's pray for the family, pray for the officers everywhere to be safe. And let's pray that management in the Puerto Rican island or in the mainland, let's pray that management will think first about the officer safety on the front line and not about how the inmate will feel. And I say that, and this is going to make a lot of people mad. They're going to write back to me and say, the inmates have feelings. Yes, they do. And the inmates have rights, and we know that. But my gosh, if an inmate is known to be dangerous and a killer, we cannot allow him to have his hands free to kill people, like in this situation. So let's just try to understand and be realistic, okay? Thank you for watching. Gary York, True Prison Stories.